Welcome, everyone. This is Cards and Coffee with Colleen and Kathi. This is our April 2024 edition. Kathi and I have been doing this for several months, and before that, I was doing it with another person for several months, and before that, I was doing it with Kathi under a different name for several months. So we've been doing this mini reading event for quite some time. We try to do it once a month, giving you a little bit of a highlight of what's going on in the collective with the energies astrologically and universally. We don't try to take up too much time with that because we only have an hour then to randomly pick people from the studio audience to do a couple mini readings for. So obviously not everybody's going to get a mini reading, but sometimes what's said to someone else is going to resonate for you and feel like the message is for you as well. So just be patient because again, we'll have another Cards and Coffee, and I'll just go ahead and tell you when the next one is in case we forget at the end. The next Cards and Coffee event with Kathi and I will be Sunday, May 5th. So actually not even a month away, Sunday, May 5th, and it's always at 11 a.m. Eastern time. If you don't know who I am Colleen Lemma, starseed astrologer, intuitive reader using Akashic records and name vibration and whatever clairs kind of come up, connecting with angels and guides. I do healing, past life regression, Reiki, and teach lots and lots of classes. And I'm going to let Kathi introduce herself really quick. And then Kathi and I will very briefly give you some collective messages before we go into giving some mini readings. So Kathi?
Hi, I'm Kathi Munson. I am the owner of Voices of Enlightenment. I also am a psychic medium. I do a lot of things Colleen does, other than the astrology. I'm a psychic medium, been talking to spirits since I was a child. I am a Reiki Master teacher, been teaching for 21 years, been on this path for 22 years. I also do a lot of classes, workshops, guided meditations. I do past life regressions. I do multidimensional healing sessions, and so much more. So I'll just leave it there. Let's put a bullet point there for a minute. I'm very excited to be here with all of you today.
Yes, thank you. And I did forget to mention that my website name, because I heard Kathi say that she, hers is actually, what is your website?
My website is
Intuitivecat.com.
intuitivecat.com.
Right, but your
voicesoфenlightenment.com.
right, got it. My website is sacredsoulempowerment.com. I have a meetup page under the same name, Sacred Soul Empowerment. And you can find me on Facebook under the name of my business or my actual name. So when I was tuning in, I mean, obviously there's a lot going on astrologically speaking. We just had the new moon solar eclipse on April 8th, which followed 2 weeks previous, the full moon lunar eclipse that we had at the end of March. So we're still riding the wave of these transformative eclipse energies that are shaking things up. And we can't see like the forest through the trees, and we're just trying to find our way right now. Plus we have a Mercury retrograde that's been in effect this month and will be until the end of the month. And the next highlighted astrological event is a big one because it's Jupiter, planet of abundance and blessings, expansion, connecting with Uranus, the planet that brings change and redirection and freedom and liberation. And this happens next weekend. So we've got so much that has happened and that is happening. That's all I'll say from the astrological perspective. But I also want to give you some of the messages I got from our angels and guides, our ancestors. They were talking about this is a time where we just really need to surrender and trust the universe. Because of course, Mercury retrograde, we're not supposed to, sign contracts or make big decisions if we can help it. And sometimes we can't help it, but if you can wait until going into May, the month of May, things should start to have a little bit more clarity because we're waiting for more information to come in from the universe or from our angels and guides, from people around us. So again, big message of trusting the universe as things kind of reconfigure, I guess, and just surrender to the divine plan and surrender to the divine timing of the divine plan. They were saying that we need to have a lot of inner strength right now. We need to stay grounded right now. And because again, of all the energies, we may not feel grounded. So if you can walk out in nature, hug a tree, I don't know, go to the beach and walk barefoot in the sand, use your crystals, take a healing bath, although, I mean, I suppose that's grounding. You could put some essential oils in the bath water, do some meditation, do some visualization. And in that visualization, maybe visualize roots coming out of your feet chakra and going down deep into the Mother Earth Gaia to help with this grounding energy that our angels and guides are suggesting. I do have to show these two cards because it's kind of reiterating something I already said. It's like lost in space here, needing direction and feeling lost in space, not knowing which way is up or which decision is right, you know, what path to follow. And then from the same deck came out the Horseman, Herald of Change. And so, you know, we're on the precipice of a lot of changes collectively and personally. And so here you can see this horse is kind of bucking up in the air, getting ready to gallop forward. And I feel like the universe is saying it's not quite time yet. If you can hold off and wait, again, because of Mercury retrograde, because of the eclipse energies really shaking things up, we're getting ready to move forward. We're getting ready to gallop forward, but we might need just a little bit of time before doing that. And then my last set of messages was talking about just following your heart and tuning into what you're passionate about or what your passion is. That could be, you know, your passion in your personal life. It could be passion in your career or life purpose, but really kind of connect in with your heart's desires and following your inner truth. I do have to say, a lot of you out there like Goddess Bridget, and Bridget did come up. So here she is, full of vim and vigor, inner fire, she says. She's got this inner fire about her. And this says, let your passion lead you to your purpose. So these are some of the messages for the collective that are happening. Kathi, do you want to share any messages you got?
Yes, absolutely. So there were definitely hits that Colleen, you probably saw me shaking my head the whole time. We are in a time of divine change. And the biggest thing that keeps coming for me, for messages, is freedom is a word that, and Colleen used that in her astrological review or report. She talked about freedom, and freedom is the word that keeps coming all the time. Freedom of change, freedom to stand in your power, know who you are. Love that Bridget came because I am Irish and I love her, and connect so much with her. But it's about building your power, still releasing the things that no longer serve you, you know, people, places, things. But also when you're looking at the universe and hearing all of these things happening in our universe, to not go into the fear of that, to be able to stand strong in who you know yourself to be and come from love and compassion, non-judgment. Like that's really huge right now. And looking beyond, like if you're hearing or seeing in print things that are happening, it's sort of like not going into the fear of what's happening out there, but to sort of step back and see beyond that. See where the change is going to lead us, see where things are going to start to show and get better. And that's a lot of the time that we're in right now, is not reacting, but sort of stepping back and just being in love and light and sending it out, keeping your soul tribe around you, helping to inspire each other, keep each other grounded, keep each other going. When Colleen said, go hug a tree or go walk on the earth, I'm like, I'll take my tribe with me because we can all use that. And then we can all do it together. It's a lot of times of just really keeping love around you and keeping yourself and your mind and your body and your spirit in that space. And so one of the cards that came out, there's actually a few cards that came out that were very interesting, but one was health and healing. And it says time for you to tune into your life and where you stand in that. I'll just show you the picture, but this is the picture of the health and healing card. And then this was an interesting card because at first I was like, oh, that's interesting. What does that mean? It's robot, and I'll actually show this to you. But it makes so much sense because we want to go into that old way of thinking. We want to go into the habits that we have of like, what's going on? You know, like, oh my gosh, like I don't know everything. You know, you kind of go into that fear for a moment. As an empath, I will speak for myself. As an empath, I always go there first because it's just where that empathic feeling, emotion kind of leads you. But then stepping back and going, hang on, let me rethink this. Let me recalibrate this. Let me get out of the robotic thinking, because that's where I got from this card, is let me get out of that mindset that we all are conditioned from. I'm going to get a little technical here, from reports and news and those things that want to lead us into that fear, that want to bring us into that fear. This solar eclipse was amazing. I was so happy that day. Like, I had such joy and such happiness in my heart, knowing that things are going to happen and escalate. And it's okay, because I know it's going to lead us to a better place. It's going to lead us to where we're all waiting to be. So we just have to hang in there. And whatever it takes for us to be in that happy state of mind and that present state of being, like, let's get together and just share that. Like, let's just get together. That's why I love doing this Sundays with Colleen. I also have one that I'm doing on my own with my new generation of psychics and mediums. But so watch for that on Facebook. Yeah, it's just such a great time to pull together and really stand in that beautiful power that we're all here to represent, and to help others who don't have it yet, to teach and help them grow and evolve and come into that. So I'm going to end there before I end up taking up all our time. We don't get anywhere.
The guides want me to just really quickly talk about ascension symptoms too. I'm not going to go into what all they are, but ascension symptoms could be physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. And with these eclipses, and the solar storms and everything else that's going on universally and cosmically speaking, many of you might be going through some of these ascension symptoms. So you might have like flu-like symptoms, or you might get a sinus infection like I did last week on the solar eclipse, which I'm still trying to get over. So, you might be going through emotional purges that are just coming out of nowhere and you don't know where it's coming from. And this is part of like raising our vibration from more of a third dimensional up to a fifth dimensional and higher vibration. And we're needing to kind of purge out old stories, old patterns, old thought forms and perceptions, old emotions. And some of it comes up physically for some of us. Some of us may witness it in other ways with mental shifts in perception, or things changing around you, relationships or career path, that kind of thing. So again, just kind of sit with it, like just be witness to it, and don't, again, like Kathi was talking about, fears, anxieties, doubts, uncertainty, try to stay away from some of that, which, like she said, staying away from news and, things that you're reading on Facebook and things like that that are negative. That's the best thing to do right now, because your energy system is recalibrating. You're recalibrating on many, many levels. And as much as you can take some time alone or out in nature, by yourself, or at least in the company of people that share, positive vibes with you and support you, that is one of the things that's needed right now. All right, so I have got everybody muted at the moment just because of the background noise while Kathi and I were sharing. This is where we're going to kind of choose some people randomly. And if you want to either raise your etheric hand if you're not on camera, or raise your actual hand if you are on camera. I know a lot of people are going to want readings, and Kathi and I will just intuitively move through and pick the few people that we're going to have time today to do readings for. And Kathi, I'm going to let you choose first.
I had a feeling that was going to happen.
Of course.
Let's see. Who? I can't get past this, so I'm just going to go where I want to go. Jenica, I just, from the first moment I heard your voice, I'm like, let's just go to you.
That's where I was going to go too, but you beat me to it. So
kind of funny.
Jenica, what is your date of birth, first of all?
6. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. 6/13/77.
And do you have a specific thing you want us to look at, or specific
Absolutely. I practice psychic mediumship, and I got a disturbing message that my ex, who passed away in October, is still with me and hanging out in my house and hasn't crossed over. So I'd like to know if you get anything about him.
Kathi?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jenica. Did you want to share more? Okay.
He passed away, from an aneurysm, very quick. Yeah.
Because that's what I'm getting is quick. Here today, gone, like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
I will tell you, he has passed over. He's not stuck. So I will say that right up front. I want to get that very clear. Is he around you? Yes, because there's I keep hearing, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Like I keep hearing like things that I wish I would have done differently so that I could have left on a better connectedness. So that I could have fixed some of the things between us. And that's why I do feel his presence around you, but he is not stuck here.
Oh, good,
He
good.
made it to the other side. He's doing his work on the other side. He's making that very clear. Very, very clear. And not to mention, this man's a kind of nice looking man. I'm just gonna say.
Yes.
A nice looking man. Hello, flirty. So I'm gonna say that.
He was.
Nice way to start the day is what I'm gonna say. So
He was.
Um,
He was fabulous.
so, you know, what he is saying is that his love was so deep for you that, but he didn't know how to handle it. He didn't know how to walk through that. And he said, but he wants you to know that he never stopped loving you. If there was a way he could have figured it out to be able to stay with you and just you, because I feel like there were kind of some people,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
He so would have just stayed with you, and he wants you to know that. He's talking about how he can see it now. Like I can see it now because I'm here. Of course, I'm here where we get all the awareness back, is what
Yeah.
he's saying to me. But, and it's funny because you feel him around you. He's talking about how you pick up his signs very well, especially his energy. I feel like you feel his energy very present. He's just there because he wants to sort of make amends in his way that he can do now.
Well, I do. I love him and I forgive him. I do.
And he's grateful because he said he really wishes he could have said this when he was still living.
I know.
He could have found his voice better when he was still living.
I understand. I do.
And
Thank
I'm gonna sort of sidestep from that for just a brief moment.
Okay, thank
Because
you.
one thing I want to say to you personally is you have got to get yourself going. Like that was the first thing that came before you even asked your question. Like spirit is so trying to divinely guide you, and it's almost like you're holding yourself back. Like you're on that cusp and doing work. I'm not saying you're not working, so I will say that. But it's almost like they really want you to pay attention because they're trying to guide you further, and you're sort of like just, yeah, I don't know if I'm ready to be seen that much yet. I don't know if I'm ready to be there yet. I don't know. And so you're kind of holding
Psychically,
back.
like, should I go forth with my psychic work? Really? Okay.
They said you already know they've given you so much validation. And
Okay.
you keep
I
doubting
know.
it. You still keep doubting it.
Okay.
So they're talking about it's time to get yourself over that speed bump. Like
Okay.
you've been sitting on the top of the speed bump for too long. It's time to just go for the gusto and get
Okay.
yourself out there. And trust me, if you need any help, because I was pushed too back when I started. So if you need any help, certainly reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to help.
Oh, Kathy, thank you so much. I
You're
will.
welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. And with that, I'm just going to pass it to Colleen.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Jenica, so the first thing I was getting as far as your ex that crossed over is that he came into this lifetime to transmute a lot of karma, release a lot of karma, release a lot of pain. And they're talking about that, you know, also being done now that he's crossed over, that kind of continuation, but he did do a lot regarding that. And I feel like they were talking about self-acceptance, like for him, that he came in to learn to accept himself, love himself, appreciate himself. That was part of the, you know, karmic indicator, if you will, one of the karmic lessons that he came in to learn about. And then I feel like, now what was your ex's name?
Brian.
Brian. So then I felt like Brian was saying that he wanted you, now I don't know, do you have an amethyst crystal, especially like an amethyst cluster crystal?
I have an amethyst pendulum.
Okay, well, I feel like he's wanting you to like get a different, not the pendulum, but getting a different crystal, like especially I keep seeing like a amethyst quartz cluster. And Brian is wanting you to kind of tune into that amethyst and set intentions into that amethyst. It's sort of like a bridge, if you will, a bridge from him to you. Like Kathy said, he's crossed over and whatnot. He's, you know, visiting you right now because it's still a fresh kind of leaving of this plane of reality. But I feel like Brian wants you to infuse this amethyst quartz cluster with these intentions that this is like your kind of bridge, if you will, from this dimension to the higher dimension, to where it's going to be easier for you to connect with him at any time in the future that you desire. You can meditate with it, communicate with him, communicate to his higher self. It's going to be made a lot easier for some reason with this amethyst cluster. And then, like Kathi was saying, you're definitely in a time right now. This is a birthday year for you that's about empowerment. This is about you empowering yourself, taking your power back, thinking about your life purpose, what's your career path forward, finding your inner strength. And you're soon going to be having another birthday, and that's going to herald you into a 2-year cycle of like endings and completion, and then planting new seeds and new beginnings, initiating something new. And that's going to take, again, a course of the next couple of years. But with that, in the short term, if we rein things in, they were talking about you having a lot of revelations. This eclipse energy set things into motion. And I feel like in the next month to 2 months, you're going to be having like lots of aha moments, lots of revelations. And your angels and guides are talking about focusing on trusting in divine timing. And just like Kathi said, to move forward in your purpose, move forward in your path. Who are you as a light worker? But it's all going to unfold in this divine timing, little bit by little bit, increment by increment, so that by the time we get to around June of 2026, it's not going to take that long for you to see results. But by the time we get to June of 2026, you're going to be like birthing a whole new reality, a whole new you. But I see a lot of like, intuitive capabilities, healing capabilities, really kind of magnifying, intensifying, especially after your birthday and then for the next birthday year. So you've got a lot of great things coming up.
Wow. Wow, great. So I have to go forward with the psychic mediumship. I have to do something with it. All right.
I think so.
I have one more thing I just want to add really quick, because while I was sitting here, some other things were coming to me. There's something about you, and those on here that know me, they already know, they're probably going to know this so well because I say the same things to them. There's something about you getting out of that robotic. I know that robot car is going to stay with us all through today. I have a funny feeling. It's sort of, we are taught by amazing teachers. There's no doubt about it. But we hold ourselves like in that tunnel until we get to the part to where we start to expand and move beyond that, especially with mediumship. We start to move. I mentored with somebody for 2 years. Amazing. I love him because he actually, I'm not a round peg in a round hole. I'll just say that for me. I always try to say, I'm a round peg and I can fit in this hole. I can fit in the square hole. I can fit in there. You watch, I can fit in there.
I'm totally different. I get messages in weird ways, and
that's what was coming through, is to take it the way you get it. Work the way you work. Don't let anyone else tell you anything different. Work the way you work, because I don't work the way most
I need a real teacher. I need to dedicate, I need to dedicate myself to it and go forward.
Once you start working the way you work, it's going to come so naturally for you. There's something about, like, I do soul to soul readings. That's where I am now. That's what I call actually what we're doing now. To where whatever's for your highest and greatest good, that's what's going to come through. So I might work on healing you. I might work on mediumship that'll come through. I might give you both. I might give you a psychic reading. It all depends on what's for your highest and greatest good. You open it up to all aspects, because that's who I am and that's how I work. And when I go into mediumship, I started with they're this tall and they have dark hair and they have, like all the specifics, because that's how we learn. So I'm not denying that. But now I'm away from that. It's like, where do you want to go? Tell me what you want to say to them, and go from that, because I know that's where you go. And you're also connected to the Akashic records, because I kept getting that. Like, your truth is going to come through for them, is going to come through so much more profound. Like what Colleen sort of did, where she came in and said, in this lifetime, he was here to do this, 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 and this. And then you're going to attribute it to how it connected to the person you're giving the message to. That's where your key is going to be. That's where your beauty is going to shine.
The Akashic records.
Let spirit take you. If you're doing mediumship, because I don't know why they're focused on mediumship, but I'll just say that. Let them take you where they want to go.
Okay.
You'll get it. When you start working it, you'll get it.
All right.
They're saying that you're not a typical Gemini because you're a Gemini, right? And typical
Yeah.
typical Gemini is like flit from thing to thing and very surface. And they're saying you're not surface. You're like deep. You're much deeper, and you've got a lot of ancient wisdom and knowledge within you, and you have the ability to move through this cycle of transformation, transmutation, not only for yourself, but to help other people move through that as well, almost like a shaman in a way. So I feel
Yeah.
like you have very deep, wise, old soul, shamanistic and ability to
Yeah.
tap into something much deeper than the typical Gemini. So yeah.
You've
Yeah.
done this in so
Thank
many
you.
lifetimes. It's going to be like the back of your hand when you get going.
I feel like I should be doing something like.
Walk through that fear.
Thank you so
And I'm
much.
just going to say one more thing. Stop shooting on yourself.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
what we do has nothing to do with should.
Yeah. All right. I will. Thank you so much, guys. You were wonderful. Thank you, Colleen. Thank you.
Yes, you're
Kathleen.
welcome.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Jenica.
Oh my God. You blew my mind. So much more than one question. My God.
Right? Well, we try to do whatever we're guided to do.
You're fantastic.
Kathy and I just bring it
Kathy,
through,
I'm gonna
whatever
be
they
in
tell
touch.
us.
Or just the
Kathy,
channel.
I'm gonna go forward with you. I will.
Awesome. I look forward to that.
Great.
Right. So let's kind of move on to, I feel like I'm drawn to Kara, C-A-R-A, Kara. So Kara, do you want to unmute yourself
Yes,
and tell us your date of birth?
April 16th, 1977.
Oh my gosh. So your birthday's in 2 days.
Yes.
Well, happy
Thank
upcoming
you.
birthday, April 16th, 1977. And then do you have a specific question, or do you want just whatever your angels and guides have to say?
My specific question would be around my finances moving forward and career choice. I'm kind of, what you said in the beginning, it's kind of what I'm dealing with, like wanting to make all these decisions and everything's kind of chaotic, but I have felt spirit tell me to just kind of slow down and wait.
Well, I'm glad you're listening to spirit. That's great. All right, Kathy, what do you got?
So for Kara, the biggest thing that keeps coming from spirit is courage. Like to have courage, to grow beyond, to go beyond. It's almost like I want to tell you, like, sit back for a minute. It's so funny because spirit says this to me when I'm like, go, 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 go. And I never listen to them. So I'm just gonna say, well, I obviously listen to them. Otherwise I wouldn't be here. But for myself, it's like, no, I have to work with that person. No, I have to keep going. I never have a day off. So, cause I just keep going. But when it gets too much, I'll hear them say, sit, be still, be quiet. And I know that they're talking about how you were connected to them, like how, I don't know if you used to meditate a little bit every day, you used to
Yes.
maybe journal a little bit every day, because they keep showing me like you journaling.
Yes.
Get back to doing that,
Okay.
because that really brought you clarity. It brought you peace first, and then it brought you clarity. And that's a lot of what they want to do, because you have a lot of things. So I totally get why you're confused as to where you want to go, because you have a lot of tools in your toolbox.
Mm.
You have a lot. Healer,
Yeah.
you're a healer, right? Profound. That's the number one thing they keep saying to me is you're a healer. You're a healer. You're a healer.
That's interesting because when I lived in Florida, I was a massage therapist when I was in my 20s, and I feel drawn to go back to that and get my license transfer.
I feel you need to go beyond that. So what I would say is, and not that massage is a bad thing, because I'm just going to say that, but do what you know, which would be massage. But I feel like it's going to lead you into doing more. And then I feel like massage is no longer going to be what you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
So I almost
Yeah.
want to tell you, if you want to focus on energy work first,
Okay.
while you're getting your massage license or renewing your massage license, that's what I would tell you to do, because I feel like you need to do energy work, which is really going to lead you more to where you're meant to be. And I sort of see you pulling all of these healing aspects, all these different healing modalities into what you do. It's a lot of what I do. Energy work is a big thing for me. It's always going to be a big thing for me. I'd rather do energy work than anything else. If somebody was going to work on me, I'm like, do you do energy work? Because it's just my thing that I love. And it's also what connects me the best. So I'm going to say that. But there's something about you sort of evolving into the new wave, because that's really where that's coming from. So it's not that you can't pull, right now you can pull massage techniques in anyway, because you haven't forgotten them. You just don't have the technicalities to put yourself out there as a masseuse, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting to a time where it's really not going to matter.
Okay.
You know, it's going to be when you're with your client and you want to do a few things, you're going to do a few things. You know, whether you have your license or whether you don't, doesn't matter. And you're going to put yourself out there as an energy worker, energy healer, you know, something to that capability. And it's really a time for you to sort of stand in your courage to be able to do that, because I'm also getting like there's outside interference around you. So I don't know if it's family, it feels like family to me. You know, stand in your power and know who you are. Doesn't mean you have to beat them over the head with it. But definitely stand and be you, because you're needed here. Like we need everybody that can get on this holistic path. We need everybody to get on. Because Colleen and I can't handle it all on our own. We need as many people on here as we can possibly get. Because we have a lot of people who are going to need us. And so that's what you do. But anything that speaks to you, like if you look at classes, anything that speaks to you, there's also like a shamanic piece to you too, or something that feels like a shamanic piece. So you might want to incorporate some of that as well. And sort of, it's almost like you're going to rebuild your toolbox. And I will tell you very clearly, when you connect with something that gets you wicked excited, you're already going to know it.
Yeah.
So be prepared for that.
Okay.
Because even when you learned massage back when you learned it, there were parts of that that clearly spoke to you.
Yes.
That you're like, I already know this. I don't know how I know this. How do I know this?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why I
You've
chose
been a
it.
healer in many lifetimes. How could you not?
Mm-hmm.
And what you're doing is you're kind of reconnecting and saying, oh, I remember now. I used to do this differently, but I used to do this. So, and then there's also something about, well, crystals are a given. So I'm just going to say that you'll probably incorporate crystals in there, but I'm seeing herbs also.
Yes, I have trays of herbs everywhere. I'm very connected to nature. I
Get
put
to
my
know
grass
them,
off.
but don't know them so much that it restricts you into the knowledge of them.
Okay.
Kind of like crystals. I mean, there's so many. How come I mean, I'm just floored when people are like, oh yeah, that's blah blah blah, and it does blah 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 blah. Like they know, like I have a friend who just like mentally knows all of them. I'm more an intuitive. Like I know why you've chosen that crystal. That's where my knowledge comes from. I know why that crystal connects with you and why you chose that crystal. That's where I go. And that's almost what I want to tell you is some knowledge, you kind of are going to blend both, like the knowledge and then, but my intuition is telling me this is why you need it.
Okay.
So kind of allow yourself, and that's where the courage comes in.
Okay.
It's just like, well, I don't know if I can say this to this person. I don't know. Just say it. Just say it. You know, we're not saying we're going to heal you and, you know, miraculously change everything, but I'm not going to die what if you don't say something and it really could have helped them? And that's always where my perspective comes from. If I don't say it, especially because I won't say it at first and then spirit will give it back to me. Almost like bonk, 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 say it. So yeah, allow yourself to go there because you have it.
Okay.
You're going to be brilliant at it, actually. So I'm going to pass it to Colleen.
Okay.
Wow, Kara. I try to listen to what Kathy's saying, but at the same time, I'm trying to listen to what your angels and guides are saying for me to share with you. And you come in as a powerhouse of energy. First of all, like just from a human perspective, I want to say you're going to be great as an entrepreneur, heading up your own business, doing your own thing. Like you're a leader, you're a manager, you're somebody that takes charge, and you've got a lot of gifts and talents and abilities, and you're going to be coming into a lot more gifts, talents, and abilities. And you are in a great birthday year right now because, well, you're going into in 2 days and you're probably already feeling it, but you're coming out of this cycle of endings, releasing, purging, completion. Like you might have had certain situations and circumstances in the past birthday year that's kind of come to a close for you and shifted for you, and aspects of yourself, you know, emotionally, mentally speaking, have been shifting and clearing and, you know, again, purging. You're moving into a cycle of new beginnings, a cycle of empowerment, a cycle of being empowered. And any relationship dynamics out there, like no matter what kind of relationship we're talking about, business, friendship, family, or significant others, if it's not an equal give and take and there's not like a reciprocity going on, I feel like there's changes coming up, or has already perhaps, with those relationships as well, because you're like on fire, like you're going to be on fire. And I'm so excited that you're moving into this cycle of new beginnings. So this is a time of rebirthing yourself, recreating yourself in your life, planting as many seeds as you possibly can. So it's like, oh, I'm interested in that. I want to learn about this. You know, I can't do all of these things, but plant all of the seeds in the beginning, because the ones that are supposed to take sprout are going to take sprout. And this is just going to be an awesome time. Now, you are an Aries, and Aries is get up and go, passion, movement, action, but you have this deep side to you too. And I heard Kathi, you know, saying something about shaman and going deeper, and I agree. You've got a lot of deep inner wisdom, just like Jenica did. Maybe it's on a different level, but you have this deep wisdom and knowledge and connection to your ancestors. That's one thing they brought up very strongly, is
Oh,
connecting to generations past, connecting to your ancestors, connecting to ancestral wisdom. Maybe you've got to do some ancestral healing for the
yeah.
ancestral line, but also your ancestors have a lot of you know, wisdom, gifts, talents, and abilities that they're passing along to you. And some of these are very, and I think I heard, Kathi, didn't you say shamanic or something? I see like shape shifting. I see teaching of like deep ancestral wisdom kinds of things. You know,
My,
all these wonderful things that are coming up for you. And I don't know if this is an indigenous tribe or if it's Native American. It has like a Native American or tribal feel to it. So there's,
I'm Romani, which
okay.
people think of as gypsy, but that's not a good term. But I'm Romani on my uh, birth mother's side. My grandmother was a card reader, and I'm Irish pagan on my father's side, but I was adopted. So I'm just learning all this, and both of you have been real spot on. And I'm an Aries in my sun, my moon, Venus. So I'm like a triple Aries. And I am like
Wow.
go, and so much information, wanting to do everything. So
Oh,
spot on.
absolutely. And it's
Mm,
interesting because you have, you know, you have the shamanic ancestors over here, but then you have these angel, like archangels and angels over here, you know, and one of them that's at least right now leading the pack is Archangel Michael. So call in
mm,
Archangel Michael. He's like the go-getter. Let's cut
yeah,
the cords to the past and things that are blocking your way. And
yeah.
he's like bringing in this courage and confidence and take charge energy, as well as divine protection for you to move forward. And they're talking about like this a spiritual calling. You're being called spiritually to take the next step in your evolution and growth. You're being called spiritually to move into more of your gifts, talents, and abilities. You're being called spiritually to move into your life purpose and your life path. And they're talking about you going through a lot of transformation and change. Um, and then, so we talked about ancestors and angels, and then there was this other little pocket over here that was a connection to Atlantean energy. Now, that's kind of real off the cuff. It seems very,
Mm,
very much unlike angels and ancestors here. But
mm,
this is like some Atlantean vibration that also not only gives you, you know, the other pockets are like the healing and the psychic and the, you know, like the sage, the wise one. But then the Atlantean is like this scientific breakthroughs, progress,
mm,
technology, even, you know, this Atlantean vibration that's also kind of in the mix, if you will. So I feel like you had an Atlantean lifetime
mm,
as well. And they're also helping to bring up these hidden gifts and talents and hidden opportunities that kind of have maybe lied dormant beneath the surface. But because you're going into this cycle of new beginnings, this birthday year is a new beginning time period for you. A lot of these new things are going to be activated over the course of the next few months. And
okay.
they just said, you know, at the end to trust the divine process, trust divine timing. Aries wants to push and make things happen now, but you're going to have to also balance that with surrender, faith, and trust, and allowing things to unfold in the divine timing that they're meant to. But you got a lot of great things coming up, and I'm really excited for you.
Thank you. Thank you both.
All right, Kathi?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got one more thing for Kara. She had originally said something about finances, and we kind of
Oh,
briefed
yeah.
about that. And I just pulled, separate cards for that, and they were showing a lot of abundance and prosperity coming in, mostly through spoken or written word, or sharing messages through your voice, something about speaking, and also a lot of expansion energies. So not just expansion in your finances, which I think is coming as long as you use your thoughts and words, but also expanding your vision, like of who you think you are and what you think you can or cannot do. Like really get rid of any glass half empty and move into like, I can do anything and everything that I desire energy.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nice.
Kathi?
So let's see. Kaleo? I don't know, I'm not quite sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But Kaleo Wheeler, if you're still there. Hello?
Kaleo?
Is that, I'm not sure. Is it Kaleo?
I believe so, yes. If I
Okay,
remember
sorry,
correctly.
sorry, I mispronounced her name.
That's okay. Kaleo, are you there?
Maybe she
Oh,
stepped out.
no, she stepped away.
All right, well, I'll pick someone else then.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's go with Reagan. I'm gonna keep being
Okay.
drawn to her.
You were calling me?
Oh, yes, we were.
The what?
Hold on, Reagan. Yes.
It's Kaleo, right?
Yeah. Suddenly I got distracted for a minute. I was off the screen and my mouse gives me hassles. And I sometimes can't get it unmute. Anyway, so you were calling on me, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Awesome.
So what is your date of birth, Kaleo?
Hold on one second. Let me get this. Jenny, I'll call you back. Let me get my volume up a little bit more here. I had a call come in that I had to take and that got me distracted a little bit. I'm sorry. I usually like to be very present. Oh shoot. Why is this hassling me? Oh, here. Oh God, I'm sorry. I'm distracted. Anyway, thank you. Yeah, I'm just wondering any clarity. I'm working on going to another level with my business right now. And I am doing, I joined a coaching group, and I had gotten a real clear message from my guides that I needed to do it. But now, so I made a commitment, and it was a financial commitment. And I don't know, now I'm getting questions of whether if I already got what I needed within the first couple of weeks, and if I need to stay in it. And it's kind of concerning me because I'm also not concerned. I'm not sure about, I trust if I need to be in it, the money will come through to pay for it, but it's a little bit expensive. And so I'm hearing I just need to trust. But I don't know, as I was on with you, I thought, we'll see if your guides give you any guidance of whether I do really need to connect with this. And I'm not sure, because with the solar eclipse, I'm finding, our old stuff is coming up. And so I've been having some old poverty stuff, a lack of stuff coming up. So I'm not sure.
Okay, Kaleo.
Any guidance you can give us. Yeah.
What's your date of birth?
12/2/47.
12/2/47. All right, we'll let Kathi go first on that one.
So we're going to break this down a little bit. So I'm not surprised that stuff is still coming up because it's the time for it. That's
Right.
clearly.
Yeah, these are old tapes that stuff I was dealing with.
Yep. So what's happening is that you're still getting little pieces, little pop-up pieces that still need to be worked on and released. There's also this part of spirit will sometimes bring something up for you so that it can push you into the now. So where you can go, oh, I'm not looking at that. I'm not looking at that. I'm going to stay here and focused here. So allow yourself to just sort of like, let that go, get through that and move on and keep moving forward. As far as the class or I'm not quite sure what you said you were taking.
It's a year-long mentoring program.
Okay. Cause I couldn't, yeah. I was busy like trying to listen to spirit.
Yeah, well, I was rambling. You caught me off guard. I didn't expect you guys to call me today.
No, you're fine. You're fine. what they're doing is they're reconnecting. It's a lot of what we've already talked about to the other two women that we've spoken to today. They're reconnecting you with what you know. That's why in the first 2 weeks, you're like, well, I kind of already know this. Like, I kind of already got this.
Mhm.
There's something still coming. Like, it's almost like, so if you've done 2 weeks and the third week, you're kind of like, I don't know, like, yeah, kind of feel like I already know this. Something's coming in like the fourth week. Like it makes me feel like hang in there because there's something that will just, it's not going to be new to you, but it's going to be something that will be like, oh, I know that, but wow, I love the way you put that.
Okay.
Then it kind of clicks, and then it's going to kind of pull everything together for you. So now you can continue to go forward with what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I keep getting the feeling that when I get what I need, that, you know, because I signed this agreement, and that somehow that will resolve itself easily if it isn't. And because part of the issue is you get into these programs and, oh my God, there's so much and it's so busy, and you're supposed to be connecting with all these people on these Facebook groups, and it really overwhelms my energy. It exhausts me. And so that's what I realized. I thought, I wasn't as discerning about what I was
But
getting
the
involved
interesting
in.
thing is that you need to utilize it for where you're going. So you need to change your perception, because what they're telling me is that I'm almost like, don't shoot the messenger. What they're telling me is you get yourself so into, like, because you're used to like almost like being a spider, like an octopus. You know, your tentacles are out everywhere.
Right.
And what they want you to do is pull your tentacles in and maybe just sit back and listen.
Okay.
Listen to what the people are saying. Don't take it in, but just kind of listen. And
So I don't even have to worry about, oh, I'm not being as engaged as they want us to be. I just need to be observing. Okay.
Right. There'll be times when, yeah, you'll know when to engage, and you'll know when to, you know what, I just want to listen for a minute. I want to see what I hear. I want to see what I get. Like going beyond that conversation, that talking. Because
Okay.
what they're showing me is that your talking is getting in the way. It's getting in
All
the way.
the talking and the busyness is getting in the way. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's making your head think too much. Like, it's almost like it's like you're putting too much pressure on yourself.
Right.
So they're saying just go with peace, like just stay calm, and you'll find the words are going to be more profound, more specific, more connected. And you're like, oh my God, why didn't I do this all this time? This would have been so much easier if I would have just done this all this time.
Okay.
Because I feel like it's going to start to really, really make such deeper sense to you.
Okay.
If you just pull yourself back a little bit. You're always used to being the front of attention, because you feel like you can control energy if you put yourself in the front and lead the way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's my Leo moon.
Well, here's the funny, oh my God, my mom was a Leo, I totally get it. But here's the thing. You're meant to lead, there's no doubt about it. You already know that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're meant to be someone who teaches and shows and guides people to where they're going to go. But it's almost that analogy, like you'll catch much more with honey.
Mm-hmm.
In the peace, you have to come through peace to calm yourself down, to put it out there. And that's a lot of and then it's going to be profound for people.
Okay.
And the words that come to you and the voice that comes out of you will be so enlightening and so amazing.
It's interesting because what you're describing, I'm sorry, Kathy, I interrupted you. Go ahead. No, what I was going to say is what you're describing, and I know I have to embrace it more and stop trying to be, in the human design, I'm a projector. And I'm sort of trying to be out interacting and staying up with all the energizer manifestors. And that's what you're saying. And then I just so what you're describing is what I am being told with that energy of that projector is who I am. And as this thought leader, I am. So thank you.
But here's the interesting thing. The way that you're feeling and the way that your anxiety is so high, and your stress level, I'm just going to say stress level is so high.
It is.
Is that getting you anywhere? Is that what you want to project to those people that are out there?
No.
Right. So think in your mind, step back for a minute and say, who do I want to be? Like, I know. So I'm going to be blunt. Like, and it's not even, I'm going to be very blunt and share something about myself. I love Maya Angelou. I love her words. I love how simple and so profound her thoughts are. I'm a very layman's terms kind of gal. That's who I am. It's just how I work. but I
Mhm.
love her verbiage. And unfortunately, she's not with us any longer, but I tend to share a lot of that. Like I'll share her words out on my Facebook pages and stuff, because I just find it very enlightening for me. Somebody had said to me along the way, they go, you know, that's who you are, right? You are. Now that you're Maya Angelou, clearly I'm not, clearly. But she said, you work and think and project the same way that she does.
Mhm.
So think of who you love, you know, who you would want to emulate in some way. And it's not like, it's so funny. You can copy them as much as you want to, but it's never going to be you. But start to see yourself as to how you sort of connect in that capacity, because you probably already are them.
Right.
And energetically, we're in a time where energy is going to be so big anyway. Do we need to project out such a huge energy? What we need to project out is love, peace, calmness, and joy and freedom.
Right. Right.
So you'll catch their attention with that. You'll catch that you'll go through your piece to catch their attention, because that's what the universe is going to need.
That's what I teach, Kathy. I teach the ancient Hawaiian teachings of aloha and all of that.
Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh, I love that.
So
I
yeah,
love that.
what you're saying is absolutely right on and perfect. So thank you. Thank you.
Nice. You're welcome. I'm going to pass it to Colleen.
All right. Well, I'm so glad, Kaleo, that you're on here. We've met before, but I'm glad Kathi picked you, because I'm like, I don't want to, you know, I know Kaleo and I want to pick her, but I hope Kathi picks her, and she did. So first of all, we know you're a Sagittarius, right? Born December 2nd. You got that fire, that mutable, changeable, all over the place, you know, kind of energy that Kathy's talking about, that passion. And you are a leader. You know, again, you're doing what you're here to do, you know, and of course that always grows and expands and evolves beyond what we're currently doing. And this is a year of growth for you. This birthday year is a year of growth, but it's also a year to shift your perspective and shift your belief systems. And so that brings us to your question. Your specific question was, should I stay in this program, or whatever it is, you know, whatever you called it.
Right. Coaching
And
group. Yeah.
the thing that I got was the same that Kathi got, that you need to slow down a little bit, shift your perspective, like open your awareness, because there's things here that are still yet coming through this program that haven't come yet, or that your current state of awareness or consciousness is not allowing for. So now you can shift your perspective and say, okay, I allow, and I'm receptive to, and I'm letting whatever needs to come in, whatever I'm supposed to learn, or whoever I'm supposed to meet, come in. And it was something about meeting somebody. There's something about meeting somebody in this group, and maybe you've already met them, but maybe you haven't put two and two together yet, or maybe you haven't met them yet. But some sort of encounter with somebody is going to be a positive connection for you. It's going to bring you future possible clients, or future possible growth, or something. There's somebody that's going to help to expand your beingness, or gifts, or ability to reach more people, or something like that. They're calling it a miraculous encounter. So there's some sort of miracle kind of encounter here that you're going to get through this. And they're also saying that aside from meeting somebody, and maybe it's more than one person that you meet, but it's also that staying in this program right now is going to reveal more things to you, and about your talents, and about your gifts, and about potential, again, future opportunities, which keeps coming up here. There's some divine intervention taking place because you was led to this program, and it's not over yet. So going back to something Kathi said, I don't know if she used the word grounding, but they were definitely saying we need to ground our energies, meaning you need to ground your energies a little bit more and be open to future blessings through the connection with this program, through the blessings of the material you're learning, the blessings of the people you're going to meet, or something like that. And I don't know how long the program lasts, but they were showing me a full moon, like by the full moon, you'll understand, or by the full moon, you'll know who the person is, or by the full moon, you'll know what these future kind of expanded gifts and talents are that you're supposed to connect with. And I
By
said,
this full moon?
well, that's
By
what
this
I
full moon?
asked. That's what I asked. I said the full moon in April. They said, no, the full moon in May.
Okay.
So by the full moon in May, which actually the full moon in May interestingly enough, is in your sign of Sagittarius, and I didn't know that
Oh.
until just this moment. So
Okay,
that makes sense. By the full moon in May, which is going to be a full moon in Sagittarius, your sign, you're going to know what that's all about. So that's a little bit later, like the second half of May is when that full moon is going to transpire.
okay,
And the last thing they were showing is that the healing energies that you teach, you know, through the Aloha teachings, the healing energy that you possess, that you gift to others or share with others or teach others. I don't know if you already utilize it in this way, but they were saying there was a connection between the healing energies and manifestation.
yeah, well, that's
Using
what it's
the
about.
healing- What's that?
I work with the Hawaiian smiling law of manifestation. That's one of
Okay.
the basics of the teachings.
Okay, well, then they're just reiterating that this is a real important piece and a really, you know, positive piece that's going to continue to expand.
Okay.
Yeah. So I hope.
And in trusting, because the main thing that was bringing up, I'll just say this quickly, the main thing that was bringing up a lot of the stress is because I have a payment due at the end of the month, and I'm like, everything is moving forward, but not as quickly as I had hoped. And so it's this trust of, oh my God, am I going to be able to cover that as I'm moving forward? So I just have to trust that the money will come in for that. I guess, yeah.
I do believe so. I believe, I don't remember if I had any messages specific to trust, but that makes sense because, you know, you're the one sign of the zodiac that's not only fire, which is very kind of chaotic and busy and passionate and powerful, but you're the mutable fire sign, and the mutable fire sign gets impatient a little bit. You know, it's like,
Right.
you know, that impatience. And so that one message of grounding the energy, so getting out and doing what you need to, trees, nature, barefoot on the earth, whatever you need to do to ground your energy, which is going to bring in that earthy sense of patience. There's
Right.
patience that's needed,
Right.
because
Okay.
there seems to be more coming. So
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. This was so helpful. They told me I
welcome.
needed to be on this call, and so thank you.
You're welcome, Kaleo. Thanks for coming. So Kathi, I feel really bad because we did say Reagan's name before Kaleo came on. Do we have like maybe 2 to 5 minutes to give her a
Yep.
quick little something?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Reagan, are you still with us?
Yep,
Okay, Reagan, what's your date of birth, hon?
6/21/1975.
Do you have a specific question or just general?
Just general.
Okay, go ahead, Kathi, you're up.
So it's interesting. I was already focusing on you because I was going to ask you the same thing, Colleen.
Yeah.
When you call somebody's name, we just can't leave you hanging is kind of how I
Right.
feel. So, what I was getting for you, the very first thing that I got was enlightenment for you, was
Okay.
to sort of shine your light brighter, bigger, you know, more in a directedness of the way that you want to go. And I don't know, can you turn your phone on so we can see you, or if not, that's okay, but
It wasn't working, my camera.
I don't know if usually Colleen can put a request just to have you maybe
Let me see. Go keep
Videos are-
talking.
request to turn on the video. Anyway, it's part of the enlightenment. We need to see you. The other thing I got too is I kept seeing a bear around you. Like I kept seeing, so you definitely have a totem animal that's a bear, which is bear is strength, protection. I have a bear totem animal too, who tends to stand here. So if you happen to see a big shadow behind me, I have a guide who's a very large guide who actually is Hawaiian. Just kind of, just add that because for the woman that we just read. And also the bear is my protector, but it's sort of like, if you think of bear, it's sort of like lions, tigers, bears. Oh my. It's sort of like you think of them as big and massive and strong and sometimes scary and rah, you know, that kind of thing. But yet they're very cuddly and cozy and soft and squishy. Like I like big dogs, so it's always like I always think of that analogy. There's also this connectedness, again, like some of the people that we read today, like I feel like you need to put your feet on the earth and get more grounded and kind of pull in some shamanic teaching for you. Like I keep seeing that pathway of one of your past lives to where you were very prominent. It's kind of funny because you were kind of the medicine woman back in the day. Because that's where I keep seeing you. They keep showing me that past life for you and sort of starting to pull some of that in. And I know, so clearly you're a healer, so we'll just say that right up front. But there's also this, I don't think you've allowed yourself to entertain some of that thought
No.
and healing in a bigger perspective. because I know you love people. I know you love to help people, and I don't know you. So I'm just going to say that to everybody that's on today. I don't know Reagan. At least I don't think I know Reagan. Sometimes people know me and I'm like, oh, we've met. So I'll just say that. But there's something about doing the journey through shamanism. You know, so I had done a sweat lodge at one point in my life, you know, but there's also like a journey that you can actually go on. And usually it's young and Native American men who, when they get to a certain age, they'll go on this journey, you know, to where they'll fast and they'll walk wherever they're going to walk. You know, they do this major journey. It's almost like what I think you need to do is sort of take this like mental journey through shamanism. I don't know where you just went. You just shifted somewhere. Did she? Oh, there you are. Like to sort of get your mind to kind of go on that journey and see where that leads you. And if there's somebody you can connect with or somebody who happens to be doing something, you know, if you have powwows in your area, I have a feeling, have you ever done anything like that?
No.
I have a feeling. So I'm just going to say this because they keep showing it to me. They always show me things that I know in my own life because they know that I'll get it. They'll know where I need to go with that. But I was doing this was back when I first came on this path. I was doing this big event with a place that I used to work out of. And they did an opening healing section where all the people that were working the event, you know, we all got in this big circle, and this Native American man, like started to beat his drum to do an opening prayer and abundance prayer for the day. And I started crying, like just instantly started crying. And I have a feeling that you'll be emotionally moved when you're there because it was a very important life for you. And it was a very connected life for you. And it's truly the path that I feel like you need to finish for yourself, but also to enlighten yourself and to help you sort of evolve into the true essence of who you're meant to be. And I know that your soul, and you tell me whether I'm right or wrong, but I know your soul is kind of like, I'm good at what I do, but I know there's more. Like, I know that I want to do more. I know want to leave a bigger footprint on this earth, but I don't know what that is. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
So I kind of feel like this is where you need to go. Like somewhere in the, and again, your choice is going to be your choice. You know, you picking whatever's near you clearly is what you need to start with. Energy work will be big for you because again, it's all about the feeling and the touch and the hands and sort of like that intuitiveness coming through you and sort of like what you're able to do. I think it's going to evolve into something so amazingly beautiful for you. To where you might be drumming while you're working on somebody, you know, you're pulling crystals in, you're like you're going to have all these extras that you're just going to kind of like incorporate this amazing healing path for somebody. And then also just the enlightenment of the voice, because I know the voice and the hands are connected for you. So you're going to, what you share with them, the enlightenment you share with them, the things that come to you are just going to be so profound for them and help to get them on their right path. So that's what I'm getting for you, Reagan. And I'm going to just pass it to Colleen at this.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Talk to Bear though, because you have Bear. Get to know your Bear.
Okay. Will do.
If you ever sit and be quiet and meditate, sorry, Colleen, if you sit and you're quiet for a minute, like kind of put, you know, let him come to you.
Okay.
So that you can work with him and find out why because if he's the first one that's showing himself to me, then he's pretty prominent. He's probably going to been with you forever and probably will be with you for the rest of your life.
Oh, well. Okay. Will do. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Reagan. So you're on the Gemini Cancer cusp, and without your astrological chart, I don't know, because sometimes the shift from one sign to the next is like it differs by a day or so, sometimes year to year. So that Gemini Cancer cusp is interesting because Gemini is very mental and thought-provoking and very like busy, you know, on a mental level. And then Cancer is this emotions and emotional and empathic and intuitive, and it's a stark difference between the two signs. And then I was looking at your soul vibration that you come in with, and they gave me like a couple phrases. They're saying she's a resilient one. She's a resilient one. And like she's had to be very strong. She's had to stay very grounded. She's had to overcome like lots of challenges and limitations in this lifetime and be patient and persevering and determined and all of this thing. But you also have this gift of like creation or creative power. You know, they were talking about using this creative power to create something. And you're also very close to shifting into another birthday year because your birthday's in June. And the current birthday year that you're in is kind of, I'll say in some ways challenging. It's like very self-reflective and internal and needing a lot more solitude and just feeling like things aren't making sense. All the puzzle pieces aren't quite fitting together properly. And I don't know which way to go or what I'm supposed to do. And part of the energy of this particular cycle that you've only got a couple more months of is about learning to go within to that intuitive side of yourself and trust and have faith with what you're feeling, what you're seeing, what you're experiencing, what you know to be true for you. So there's this need to, like, in the next couple of months here, to really tap into that. But I will say, I feel like the next birthday year cycle that starts June 21st, give or take, I feel like it's going to be a lot different. I don't know if I want to say better. It's definitely going to be different, but I feel like it's definitely more external, more movement, more empowering, more, focusing on the external rather than the internal, because this past year it's been focusing a lot on the internal. Now we're going to push the energy back out. And especially because 2024 for the collective is the year of what is it? The year of the dragon, right? We're in the year of the dragon. And we're in an 8 universal year, which is very much about empowerment, taking charge. What's your life purpose? Focusing on confidence and courage, focusing on your leadership capabilities. And that's the energy you're going into on a personal level. So you're going to come out of this shell. You're going to come out of this place of solitude and self-reflection. And starting June and for the rest of the year, it's going to be like, okay, world, here I come. Here I am. Like, I've done all this internal processing and reconfiguration and whatnot. And I'm going to move into what they're calling like miracles. They're talking about miracles and movement and growth and harmony and moving into an inspiring time. So in the meantime, and for the rest of this year, I want you to focus on, what are my creative gifts and talents? Is it words? Is it my voice? Is it speaking, teaching, writing in some capacity? Or is my creativity music or art or sewing or cooking or giving readings? Or, what is my creative gift? And move into that. And not only move into the creative gift, but also talking about music. I feel like you want to start playing, if you're not already doing that, meditating to some uplifting music. Like, I feel like music is going to inspire you. In fact, I just did a 3-hour session with a client yesterday, and we decided that she needed to listen to like crystal bowl sound healing. And she didn't have anything in her area to go to. So I found a bunch of YouTube videos on crystal bowl and Tibetan bowl sound healing, and I sent it to her. So I feel like, and maybe it's Native American flute music for you. Maybe it's shamanic drumming for you. Whatever it is that you're guided towards, I feel like I want you to listen to some of this music to inspire you and to help to shift your vibration as well. Because like I said, soon you're coming out of this enclosed, internal energy, and you're going to be needing to kind of come back out sort of into the world basically and focus on your truth. They kept using the word harmony. I don't know why. So you need to kind of come into a state of harmony. Maybe it's
Okay.
harmony with other people. Maybe it's harmony within yourself. Maybe it's balancing the masculine and feminine within yourself. And they keep showing, like, again, this music, and it's like violins and ukuleles and guitars and it's like these stringed instruments. So maybe there's something with the stringed instruments as far as the sound healing for you that you need to listen to, or maybe it's a gift that you have, I don't know. But coming into this harmony and opening up to the miracle, trusting the universe and opening up to the miracle, and finding miracles in every moment, they say. Finding miracles in every moment of every day. Like today, what was the miracle that happened to you? And if you need to, like, spend 5 or 10 minutes at the end of the day writing it down, what was the miracle that happened for me today? Maybe it was a long lost friend that called you. Maybe it was because I found a dollar bill on the sidewalk. I don't care what it is, but really start focusing in on thoughtfully, what's the miracle of today? Because that's going to increase and magnify more and more miracles coming into existence for you. I feel like pay attention to September, as far as empowerment, leadership, taking charge, manifestation of a project or manifestation of even some finances or something like that that might come into play. And then there's another mini shift that happens in October and November for you. And I feel like November can be like definitely a new beginning and planting some sort of new seed that takes sprout for you. There's something new that's happening in November. So hopefully you got a few nuggets out of that.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Reagan. And thank you to everybody who came to Cards and Coffee. Thank you for hanging in with us through the rest of listening to other people's messages. And I hope that you all got some nuggets of wisdom out of listening to some of the other people's readings. And remember, the next Cards and Coffee is going to be
May 5th.
on the 5th of May. So we hope to see you there. And please check out Kathi and my offerings, Facebook, our pages, our websites and whatnot, teaching a lot of classes and, offering a lot of services, and maybe some of those will be helpful for you on your spiritual journey and your spiritual path. Kathi, you want to say any closing remarks?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming today for sure. I've been trying to sort of comment in the comments, and I want to just say one thing about a comment that was made in the comments. Talking about a card that Colleen had pulled at the beginning. We all are going somewhere we've never been before. So if you're feeling very alone and you're feeling maybe you don't have a soul tribe as of yet, or maybe you only have one person, it's, pull them in and talk about it often and help yourselves to grow and evolve into where we're going to be, because where we're going is going to be worth what we go through. Because we're going to an enlightenment phase, we're going to a better place, and we have to hold on to that. It's almost like somebody talking about money here today. Oh, she left. She had to go to another meeting. It's, the more we try to hold on to that finance, the more we try to hold on to the here and now, all it's going to do is just keep you here and now. It's not going to let you evolve and shift and grow beyond and go where we're meant to go. So try to free up the hands. Same thing with finances. Been here working on lack. That's part of what I'm meant to work on, is lack of thought, lack of not being good enough, lack of not having enough finances, lack. So, I come up with a little mantra for myself. For today, I have everything I need. I have everyone around me that loves me and supports me. I have food on my table. I have a roof over my head. I just say that. And some days I have to say it 50,000 times. But we always will have what we need. We have to trust and let it go and let it grow. So thank you all for coming. Please come and see Colleen and I again. This was so much fun. And if you didn't get a phone call, if you didn't get a phone call today, if you didn't get picked today, but yet you heard things that resonated with you, that's what I call the postcards. So somebody may have received the actual letter, you received a postcard. So yeah, so many blessings to all of you until we meet again.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
It meant so much
Bye.
to me. Thank you so much.